Hi, I'm Gavin Hodgson, fly fishing instructor and manager of Granger's Fishing Tackle here in South Kensington, London. We're going to talk you through some of the techniques and tips and help you get started in fishing. Okay, salmon fishing, and we're going to talk mostly about Atlantic salmon fishing. Pacific salmon we touched on a little earlier, but the Atlantic salmon being the fish that most people want to catch, the king of all fish. With fly fishing, we would attempt it with various flies throughout the season, taking into account water depth, water colour, and in particular temperature. We'll look at some of the fly lines, some of the spey lines, the Rio spey lines. We'll cover various things, and we also got a couple of hardy lines here, which we've got in a floating and a wet sinking line, which is obviously going to be very useful when we come to fishing bigger tube flies towards the end of the season and early. Flies wise, there are many traditional patterns. We've got lots of the more traditional flies here. We've got lots of Scandinavian tube head flies, tube and post wing flies, as well as some of the more popular these days are the Icelandic patterns. When it comes to spey casting, we can talk about spey casting another time, but we're in the river, we're up to our mid thighs, so obviously the waders are going to come in very useful. Waders and boots, again rubber soles, much more useful than the felt soles, which are becoming almost obsolete nowadays, and a good breathable wader. Now, on landing a salmon, obviously we're needing a pretty sizable net. If you've got a gilly with you, great. If you haven't, then carrying one of these nets, although they're huge, they're quite light, fit on your back with the strap, and easily released by a simple click whenever you need it. Great thing about these things is if you're returning your fish, which many people are doing nowadays, is it gives you the opportunity to weigh your fish before you do that. Now, rods again, we'll talk about the double hander. The double hander, we'd always make sure is rigged correctly with the right fly line and probably 200 yards of backing at least. This is a 14-foot rod, and we can choose various sizes for different river conditions. And when things are on the smaller streams, fishing for grilse or even larger salmon, a good, sturdy, single-handed rod, kitted with enough backing and fly line, will do the job also. Choosing flies, like I said earlier, is very much down to personal favourites. People do tend to stick to their own flies, their own favourites, but in general, we're trying to catch a fish that aren't feeding in the river. So we're trying to appeal to its aggressive nature and pull these flies past its nose and show them something that vaguely gives a recollection of something that they've fed on at sea. A shrimp pattern, or something like this, which has kickers in the pattern to offer a real pulsing movement in the fly. It's a strange fish. Like I say, they don't feed. They're just in the river to spawn, but it is possible to catch them, and hence they have a real prize when you do.